Hello everybody, this is a first quick glance at the Codive software. What you're seeing here is my Linux desktop, and I will now enter the Codive source directory, and I don't know if you see this very well, but let's put this in the middle. There is a few files. These are all the source files that you see here. Linux users will know what this is. It's just simply an ls-l. Now let's see what Codive is doing with these files. There's a whole lot of output at first. Let's put this over here. Now you don't really see too much of Codive, only from this distance here. You see that I can tap through certain thingies here. You see that yellow thing jumping. So let's just make the whole view a little bit larger, and then let's zoom into the code. What I have here is basically something that feels a little bit like Google Earth. You might see that I can turn around this object here like pretty much like Google Earth. This is the Coin 3D graphics library, and it's based on the OpenInventor library. So basically what you see here is something that comes from OpenInventor, and it's a simple 3D viewer that I used here in order to do this. Now Codive has read all of the files that I have in my folder, basically all of the source files. And here I'm just going to tap through the files, and when I kind of home into one of these files, I can actually get it quite readable, even for you. You see, I can kind of zoom into these things up to down to the letter. As of right now, what you can do is basically select one of the files and then press return, and Codive opens the file and puts it in the foreground and makes it green. This here is a backup file that I'm editing just for test purposes. As I'm using the cursor here, flipping around, what I'm doing is just I'm adjusting the camera to the cursor, and so far it's only possible to, I don't know, change, for example, change the test command. As I press escape, the file is gray again and put back to the file system, so everything is written. Codive does not yet know how to ask you for if you're really sure to save the file. Now let's close Codive for a moment, and let's see what we have here. If I cat on the globals back file, you see that it is, oops, you see that what I just did was I changed the command. In short, Codive cannot yet do very much. It's still a pretty simple application, and doesn't really do complicated stuff, and it really doesn't know how to do an undo, for example, or lets you mark and select text and copy and paste. But for starters, I think it's quite an interesting idea to put the source code into the 3D and then see what we can do with it, and you know, turn this stuff around here, and just have kind of like a slightly better overview about how large the files are. For example, you see here that this one, that's a big one, for example. This is all pretty procedural, as you see here. So it's not very object oriented, although it is written in C++. Anyway, if you're interested, stay on the Codive channel. There will hopefully be updates soon about the features and the development and the progress in this project. Thank you.